Hey Toronto cyclists, it's time to talk about the waterfront, the Martin Goodman Trail, and more specifically, getting onto and off of it from the downtown. This is my own map that I've made of the streets in Toronto based on how easy they are to get through. And so I'm going to go through some of these connections between the Martin Goodman Trail, which is the waterfront trail, and the downtown. And on the western end of it, I'm going to start with, well, let's start all the way at the Humber Valley. This connection right here on the western side of the Humber River is like shut down right now. And usually it's pretty good, but in order to get to it, you end up going through this last leg of the Humber Trail that you just climb up a big hill, go through this other spot, and then go down a big hill, which, I don't know, it's not so bad. So that's one way of getting on. It's a beautiful bike path. It's a great way to cross under the Queensway and all of this nonsense. So bring your pollution mask. Most of these, anytime you're getting, it's just like when you want a pollution mask is when you're crossing all this stuff at the same time. This whole area is terrible. Next up, we're looking at, what is this, Windermere? What is this? I think the first, yeah, it's Windermere. Your first opportunity east of the Humber is Windermere, and it's not so bad, but it does suck. It's, I don't know, it's not terribly accessible, but you can just barely make it work. Not really. It's really well lit though, so at night you can kind of traffic surf through there. Next up, what is this? Right. Also pretty hostile, Ellis. But both of these roads are pretty common places to end up if you're a cyclist going south through this neighborhood, unfortunately. So if you can, it's good to get in through, I think this is the first one that's civilized on the west end, at the southern end of High Park, and you can't go through High Park unless you're going to do it top to bottom. I screwed up in this barrier that I noted right here. There's a way to go right through here, but to go through High Park the simple way, you get onto this main road that goes through it. And if you can stay on course, then you end up on Colborne Lodge Drive, and then Colborne Lodge actually gives you bike lanes to get underneath all this stuff. Not just bike lanes, but as you can see, it goes down to a 2-lane road. So this is like as good as it gets for that's really nice. So Colborne Lodge is wicked. Parkside Drive is terrible. Is it terrible? I forget. Yeah, it's terrible. Your next opportunity is to get onto Roncesvalles by using this flyover, which is all good if you're up for a bit of a climb and then riding down the other side. The only reason this is marked in red is because it's hella slow, because you end up having to walk it if there's a lot of pedestrians, and then you're walking through a lot of pedestrians with your bike. So it's like when it's busy, it's annoying, and when it's not busy, it's pretty good. And then you end up in this intersection, which, it kind of sucks, but it gives you access to Ronces and Queen and King, which is awesome. And if you just take King is kind of inexplicably decent through here sometimes. Let's check out our next opportunity here. This is one of the annoying but doable ones. This is right next to the Royal Canadian Legion. You have the opportunity to like cross over this crosswalk and then go over this. I think did they install a pedestrian bridge? There is some construction on this, so I forget what the hell happened with this road, but I think Dowling is still a bridge that you can walk over on the sides if it's too sketchy on the bridge itself. Oh, maybe not. It always used to be. Yeah, so it's not too bad to bike over most of the time, because you just take the lane, and then if you don't feel like doing that, you just have to wait until there's nobody there, because you can't like walk through there with your bike past somebody who's walking the other way. Not really. So that's why this kind of sucks. It's not necessarily going to be easy to get across. This one is pretty good. Well, and then hang on, Dowling gets you into Parkdale. At the bottom of Jameson, like, not that you want to get onto Jameson and then start cycling north if you're like me, but if you want to get onto Springhurst and then get into Parkdale that way through like one of these streets, then there's a flyover right here next to the rowing club. I wish there was street view on all the bike paths. Like, that would be fun. But you can see where the path splits up into these two. One goes underneath the flyover, one goes off to the right of the flyover next to the lake, and then there's a path that goes up to this bridge, this pedestrian and cyclist bridge, and then I think it stays fairly convenient. It gets weird. Why the hell is that only one way? I mean, it's yet another bridge that you probably are going to end up just walking over it on the sidewalk, but it does get you there. And then, of course, Jameson is really sketchy unless you're going super fast, so it's nice to be able to get onto Springhurst. Maybe I should have started this with some of the like good routes up and down, but it's just, I don't know. Just gonna do west to east. There's this whole complicated one here where you can, it's basically walkable and stuff, but it sucks. Like, take Dunn Avenue, which you can get to through Parkdale, and then cross through a bunch of pedestrian infrastructure that sort of winds a really tenuous little line all the way to like British Columbia Road, and then you can sort of walk over here and get on that way. So it does exist. It's just that's kind of an annoying walk. Further along the trail, we start to get to the best one, which is Strawn, which goes all the way to Trinity Bellwoods Park. And Strawn, as with a lot of these roads, the problem is, like, we need a bit of signage here that says, like, Trinity Bellwoods Park that way, Queen and Bathurst that way type of thing. Because it's not even Strawn, it's Remembrance. So you have to remember that, like, Remembrance turns into Strawn on the other side where you can't see the sign from the Martin Goodman Trail. This intersection sucks, but it's not too bad. And then you get a bike lane all the way through this, I mean, again, definitely have your pollution mask for going through here. Once you get to here, you're pretty much home free. You get your chance to get in and out of Liberty Village. So if you're near Liberty Village, this is definitely the way to get on the Martin Goodman Trail. Except, is that other crossover to the... Yeah, I missed one. Didn't I? Yeah. Or maybe I didn't. There's another flyover somewhere. I forget where the hell it is. Why do I have a tunnel marked here? It's part of the path system or something. Oh, I'm going to have to research this. There's a flyover somewhere along here. I'm just going to find it right away. Oh yeah, it's further to the east. Where is it? It's not that thing. Where the hell is that pedestrian flyover over the tracks? I'm going to have to disable a layer here. This is my safety, convenience, and speed map. Let's find this flyover. Here it is. I'll show off this one, and then I'll go back and continue. So this is the fun way, the nice way, and it's complicated as hell. So have fun with this. But basically, you need to remember to get onto Portland if you're downtown, and if you're coming to it from the waterfront, you need to get onto. What the hell is this? Dan Leckie Way. So that will take you to Portland. I mean, it's great. It would be nice if there was a sign right here saying, Portland in front with an arrow pointing north. But just keep the sign in your head or something. So yeah, there's Strawn. Strawn is great. Takes you all the way to Trinity Bellwoods Park. I don't really need to explain Strawn. It's great. Don't use Spadina because it sucks. Or maybe they've renovated it. I wonder if Spadina is good now. You never know. With the rabid pace of cycling infrastructure development in Toronto. But no, Spadina is still a highway. This is the way they wanted it to be along the entirety of Spadina, too. People had to really fight hard to keep the Spadina, the ravine that it kind of shows up south of, from turning into a superhighway like the Don Valley. But, alright, let's just... Which one is this one? Oh yeah, Simcoe is reasonable. You get pretty good bike lane situation. You get the underpass experience, so once again, pollution mask for these little 1-minute rough patches in your commute. And then you get pretty decent bike lanes. At some point, I think Simcoe totally betrays you and leaves you high and dry. I forget where that is. I think it's right at Queen. Some of these bike lanes go too far, or cycle tracks. They take you to they should almost just end them at a spot where you can actually go somewhere on a bike instead of ending them in a spot where you kind of half the time you just have to get off your bike and walk. I think Simcoe, what does it do? Oh yeah, it leads you to Richmond and... No, it goes to... Where the hell is it? Yeah, it stays pretty good. I'll just do this on Street View. So for a normal the most normal one is definitely Simcoe. Bay Street is good, except for this one spot here. They just decided to make it suck. Young, of course, is ridiculous. Jarvis is ridiculous. And Sherburne is nice. You know, Sherburne's a great road. It'll take you all the way from the waterfront to the Bloor Danforth and even beyond, right into the ravines and stuff like that. Or, you know, you can just get across into all these other neighborhoods and just continue. So if you're going a long way from the water and you're going north, Sherburne is really a great way to do it. And right at the end it cinches into, looks just like Shaw Street. Isn't that cute? I forget what Parliament is like. I think it completely sucks. Yeah, Parliament is useless. But unfortunately, Parliament there's this huge gap here where if you're between the Don Valley and Sherburne, you're going to be tempted to use, you know, either Parliament or what's up with this one? Ooh, the Cherry Street one I think is pretty decent too. 1.5 lanes wide. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Yeah, they're fixing Cherry Street. So Cherry is awesome too. Alright, I'm going to add this to my map. I'm so glad to see that. Oh, yeah. Because, yeah, that used to completely... That's going to be so much better. And hopefully they make it easier to go through just across here instead of having to do this crazy detour down to the Gardner and then back up again through here. But this is your next opportunity to go through, to go north, is to get into the Don Valley, which is a completely awesome way to go north to get into the city. I mean, you can just get right in through here. It's this gorgeous little three-way with this nice little bridge that takes you under there, and right now there's like a park here. Oh yeah, there's the park. So you get this nice little park, go through Corkdown Common, and then it's a little confusing coming through this little neighborhood here. But you end up on River or St. Lawrence and King or Queen or whatever, and then you're in you're in Cabbagetown. And then over here somewhere is Logan. Is this Logan? Yeah, that's Logan. So you get this great... The trail just keeps going on and on and on. Next to the tracks, and then you get these nice little roads that are great for cycling on because of their shape, their width. Right? You got 1.5 sort of these like nice wide lanes that are reasonably comfortable for sharing. And then when drivers are moving too fast to share with them, it's totally easy to just pull over and let them all past you and then get back on. But that's not really what goes on in Logan. Logan's pretty chill. And at this point, because the path is right next to this neighborhood, you don't need all these crazy ways to punch through to the downtown. But I mean, along this like western segment of downtown strip of the MGT, it's like it really is quite important to have these routes, because as you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 lanes of cars that you're passing. It's a huge barrier. I mean, it's a big snake of car that is hard to get past. And it's actually harder to find your way past than it is to actually cross. So it's a good thing that the city is putting significant resources towards cyclist wayfinding signage. So we'll see a lot of these places start to get much easier to find and to cross. See you out there on the road.